Everybody, it is, wait, no. Today on First Cup, I'm going to wake up while I drink coffee and talk about what's sitting right here. Stick around. Can we do some of this cord? Does this cord have to be on set? We don't have to do that. There. No, it's over here. Live in 7 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Wednesday. It is September 29th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Whether you're watching live or later, I want to thank you for joining me, or even if you're listening as I drool on myself. Man, should I just go back to bed and start over? I feel like I'm not with it. I went to bed early. I got a great night's sleep. I don't know. Apparently I need more. Hi. I want to thank you for joining me, whether it's live now, or later in video, or later in audio, because I appreciate you coming in. Good morning, Stacy. Yesterday was a weird day. Yesterday, I did not get nearly, well, what I expect to get done and what's on the list are always two dramatically different things. I go through these phases where I see a really long list of stuff, and I'm like, oh, here's how we get it all done. And of course, that ignores eating and taking breaks and other things that pop up that will steal focus from what I'm doing. But one of the things that I was committed to, because it comes out next week, is doing the clips for the latest How to Fight episode. I've pushed it back a couple weeks, and then I was away, and so that had to get done. It's now done, so I did it, and I'm happy that it's off my plate. Interesting movie, interesting conversation, interesting strategy, a whole bunch of... It's just very interesting. Muy interesante. In between everything else that I'm doing, I'm shelling beans. Now, why is that even worth sharing? Because it's keeping me sane. This is what I got so far. Yes, I will sort them out. You can see there's like 3 kinds of beans in there. Actually, I think it's only 2, because I'm pretty sure these are the same bean. The brown ones are just undeveloped, but they're definitely black beans. So I'm just, I stand at the kitchen island, and yesterday, like, Andrew and I had a call, and I was like, I'm going to shell beans because it's keeping me sane, because it's giving me something to do with my hands that is productive, that I can see what I'm doing, I can see progress. Beans. Look at all the beans. Keeping me sane. Here's something to share. Oh, good morning, Daniel. I've started Sober October early. I did not drink yesterday. I did not drink the day before. I won't drink until November. My body needs a reset. Alcohol is a coping tool for me. And I can feel it. I wouldn't call it withdrawals. It's not a physical withdrawal. There's some psychological withdrawal going on there. Because historically, how do I signal that my day is over and it's time to relax with a drink? I've shown you most of the whiskey collection, but it's time to hit that reset button once in a while. So that's what we're doing. It'll be about 5 weeks by the time I'm done, which it's needed. I can just feel it in my body. You ever have that? You feel stuff in your body, you're like, my body needs a change. Yeah. I've been eating really well. So, what else happened yesterday? I went for a walk, which was nice. I haven't, through most of last year, I won't say it was every day, but many days, there was a particular walk I would do. It was about a mile each way, and it was nice. Very little traffic, even by our standards. And so I went for a walk yesterday, and I felt good. Came back, and I was like, okay, let's make some dinner. What did I make? I've been doing mostly meat, turkey bacon, some cod, some cheese, some of the radishes that I pulled out of the ground, and just other stuff that I ate off trees and bushes. I feel off. Is it coming through? I feel off. Everything just feels off this morning. It's cold out. It was 39 when I woke up. I'm trying not to bring the plants in. I don't know. I might have to bring some of the tropicals in because we got nights of upper 30s. We haven't had a frost yet, though. Knock on wood, which is good because I guess still got plenty of vegetables growing outside. Good morning, Tommy. Tommy says he started a fire this morning. So here's a fun thing for those of you who don't live in Vermont. We have this cultural resistance to turning on the heat before October 1st. It's real. And it's something that you will hear Vermonters lament, like, I couldn't make it, I had to turn the heat on. Or the other side, like, I should have, the kids were wearing 2 sweaters, but I didn't turn the heat on until October 1st. It's an arbitrary line, but it's something that we do. I haven't had the heat on. This place is pretty well insulated. It stays pretty toasty. Stacy says a balmy 43 there. It's a lot warmer. There's really no September furnace. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just kind of flip. Let's move on from my discombobulated. There we go. Monologue, which isn't a monologue because I'm just rambling. Oh, Jared said, is there a spring equivalent? Don't turn on the heat after. No. The closest thing we have would be snow tires. And it's not a pride point to take them off after a certain point. It's cultural resistance to taking them off too early. There's a frequent, I don't want to call it a myth, but if we have a late season snowstorm, so like mid to late April, someone from Vermont will surely go to social media and say, all right, who took their snow tires off early? As if taking off your snow tires signals to the universe that it's time for one more big storm. These are funny things that we do here. It's a funny place to live. Dennis says, similar, when I lived in New York, I did my best not to turn the heat on until November 1st. Woo! And Daniel says, we moved from a really old, like 300 plus year old house that was really badly insulated about 4 months ago. The new place has massively thick walls and is stupidly insulated. And we were marveling this morning how it was still 19 inside when it was 4 outside. Hold on, 4, 8. Okay, it's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Maybe 39. That's cold for you guys over there. Pretty cold over in the UK. Stacy says, much like who washed their car. Yeah, growing up, we had a neighbor, and if he washed his car, it was almost a guarantee it was going to rain. I don't know. I think these are the things that people talk about, think about when they have time on their hands. Anything else? No. Now you guys did leave me some stuff, a little bit of stuff, over on the Facebook page here. Let me give you the link in the chat. So if you're not following, you can make sure that you are following moving forward. And I'll make a post once I'm done with this episode for tomorrow. And today we got something from Chris. This is a great question, Chris. When are you better off not training for a day than fighting through to say that you trained? I'm going to guess that if the last part of that sentence is really important, then to say that you trained, you probably need to take more days off than you realize. Because if saying, oh, but I trained, or I trained every day last week, if that's a point of bragging for you, you probably need some other things in your life beyond martial arts. I love martial arts. I think we all know that. I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to defend that position publicly. But there are days when either the definition of training or the standard of training needs to adjust. If you are physically injured to the point where you have to significantly compromise what you're doing, you should at the very least significantly compromise what you're doing. I've said in the past, hurting yourself is the exact opposite of self-defense. So if you have an injury and you know that going to class or training in a particular way is going to extend the time it takes for that injury to heal, that's dumb and don't do it. Now, if you can adjust the way you train and not extend the time to heal that injury, then I think it's fine. But I think, we've had guests on the show, longtime guests who say they train every day. And I'm not going to say that they don't. But we've had people on the show say, I've trained every day for 20 years. Really? For how long? Because I can't imagine that, you go off to attend a friend's wedding and you get up and you're putting in a full hour of training. Maybe they do. Much of my training is not for an extended period of time. I don't sit down and train for an hour at once. I train minutes here and there because that's what my life accommodates most of the time. And that's okay. But if there's a day where I don't punch something, I don't kick something, I don't record video demonstrating something for TikTok, it doesn't bother me. If martial arts is a lifestyle, you don't have to prove it to anybody, including yourself. The way you approach the things that you do as a martial artist are what make you a martial artist living a martial arts lifestyle. There's no line in the sand. There's no definition that somebody else has that you have to appease. Tommy says, I do more Tai Chi and less Kung Fu at times now that I'm older. It's really important. Pain isn't injury always. I agree with Jeremy. Thank you. The 30-day martial arts challenge that Rob Damashuk started is a good way of illustrating everyday training. Absolutely. The premise of that initiative being, what does it look like if I train an hour every day for 30 days? And I remember the first year, and Rob called it 30 days of karate back then. I remember a lot of the narrative that he had going on. It was cold or it was tired or he had to start at 9 o'clock at night because that's when he had the opportunity. And how he didn't put it this way, but my takeaway was it was unsustainable to do every day. It was only something that he was going to do because it was temporary. And it's okay. Martial arts is there for you when you want it to be. I was just taught. Who was I just talking to? Oh, I'm not gonna call them out. Somebody who was very, very heavily involved in martial arts and competition, and even did some work with us on some things, has taken a step back. And when he told me this, it was over Facebook. The tone of the messages was as if I was going to be upset or scolding him. Like, training's there for you when you're ready. You don't have to train to any standard beyond your own. When you want to start training again, you start training again. That's all. And I got the sense that was relieving to hear. Stacy says, lung fu is what I feel like I've been doing recently. Asthma sucks. Daniel says, my partner does Red October, run every day, every year. Committing to serious training every single day is hard. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think Frank sent some stuff over. Where is it? Oh, yeah. So those of you who have it, make sure you grab the link or search or whatever on Facebook. First Cup. Find the page. Find the comment that I'll post shortly for tomorrow. And you can drop your questions and comments in there, and I'll answer them. Today is Confucius Day. And we've got 3 great quotes from Confucius, famed Chinese philosopher. There we go. I think I might have to go back to bed. Like, words aren't working. Words are a pretty important part of my job. I have to type them and speak them. Cultivate the root. The leaves and branches will take care of themselves. Give me a place where you can apply that. It applies to agriculture. It applies to training. It applies to business. Worry about the fundamentals, the roots, the base, the foundation, etc. If you do, everything else seems to fall into place. There's discussion of Tai Chi in the chat. Two, happiness does not consist in having what you want, but in wanting what you have. One of the things I've been really aware of lately is that we tend to normalize things that happen consistently, whether they're good or bad. We've all probably known someone who seems indifferent to some horrible thing that happens to them frequently. But because it happens to them frequently, they're like, it's not a big deal. People with chronic pain. That chronic pain becomes normalized. Doesn't mean they want it, but they are not going to react to it the same way that someone else would react to that same pain stimulus just happening once. And we normalize the good things too. If you have if you're in a wonderful relationship or live in a wonderful home, have a great martial arts instructor, we normalize that. What's another way of saying it? We tend to take them for granted. Most of us know what it's like to feel taken for granted because the people around us get used to having us around. And it sucks. So, what's this quote say? Try not to let the good things get normalized. Try to recognize the gifts that you've received, literally, figuratively. Try to feel gratitude for what you have in your life. That's something that I've talked about, I've worked on continue working on. I am grateful to all of you and so many other things. And it's not easy, but it's made my life better. There's comments coming through all over the place now. Let's pour some more coffee. I had a moment, what was this, Sunday? I think it was Sunday, where I was washing the French press, and it slipped a little bit out of my hands, and I just envisioned it breaking. I was like, oh, how am I going to make coffee tomorrow? Because it's pretty much the only way I have left. That's not true. I could use the pour-over filter I used to use. That takes forever. Stacy says, I am grateful for this show and bragged on it to a group yesterday. It really starts my day on a good note. Hey, good conversation, good people. That's the idea. Is the pinch of salt, those of you who don't know, I add salt to my coffee, during pressing or added to the coffee? During pressing, I just throw it in with the grounds. Make it easy. I don't know why the coffee is bubbling. Oh, Jared's loving the Jedi hood. You know, I have this I love hoods. I do. Like, they're cozy. It's like wearing a blanket. It's, you know, a hooded sweatshirt is the Snuggie of my childhood. I don't like zip-ups so much. I don't think they fit well. I have a few, but they're not my favorite. I prefer the pullovers. And, I mean, it's not like I'm messing up my hair. There's nothing to see. And, you know, it's not exactly warm in here. What is it? It's probably low 60s in here. It's not too bad. But, yeah. We'll keep the hood on. Train or train not, there is no try. Says Daniel. You know, I don't know if I agree with that. Do I agree with that? I think if you're trying, you're training. Yeah, I agree. I would agree. One more from Frank. A great man is hard on himself. A small man is hard on others. One of the most frustrating things for me about our place, our society, our world today, is the amount of energy that so many people expend telling other people what to do. When you can get better results spending less energy, in most cases, I always have to say things like that because people love coming up with very specific counterexamples, when in most cases you can get better results using less energy if you focus inward. And I'm not going to be more specific than that. I can't control what other people do. I can offer advice. Most of them don't want to hear it. Even the ones that ask for my advice, right? You've probably all experienced this. Someone asks for your advice. They don't really want your advice. What they're really looking for is for you to validate the decisions they've already made. But I can spend a little bit of energy on me, whether it's my training or anything else, and get results. If I want to be better at doing a thing, I invest more time in doing the thing. It's not easy, but it's simple. I'm a big fan of worrying about yourself. Stacy says, Part of why I have a piece of our school motto tattooed on my wrist. We train to rise above ourselves, not others. Rise above is on my wrist as a daily reminder. I like it. More people need to remember that. To rise above where you were, to be better than you were yesterday, to take the 1% mentality. I'm going to get 1% better at this thing today. It leads to some pretty significant progress over time. Dennis says, together we rise. Tommy says, our reactions to something or someone is a great way to measure oneself. I agree. I find as I spend more time growing as a person that my willingness to be around certain people just fades. Not because there's anything wrong with them, but like this is a good example. The number of people that I know that devote so much of their time worried about what other people are doing in every way that you could just, think of that. Those aren't conversations I want to be part of. They don't interest me. They don't benefit me. I could do pretty much anything else and get more benefit from it. And that's how I've been living my life lately. It's not terribly social. That's okay. That is okay. So I'm going to go. I'll see you tomorrow, because we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. I haven't done banners in a couple days. 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, here on Facebook, here on YouTube, here even on Twitter, because I gave up on Twitch. If you want to support us, like getting one of these great mugs or getting your free training day shirt November 13th, go to whistlekick.com, use the code FirstCup15, or support our Patreon and get more exclusive and behind-the-scenes content. And remember, leave your questions and comments for tomorrow over on Facebook, facebook.com/FirstCupWithJeremy. I swear I can talk. Okay. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Jared says, the older I get, the less I like other people. Well, you are a teacher, my friend, and I'm sure that helps. Take care, everyone. Be well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.